Okay, Hari Om. See, if there are problems that can be solved by effort, they are products of cause effect, naturally time, space bound. They are attained in time, they are attained in space, and whatever is attained in time and space are finite. So all the problems that find solutions through actions, procuring, achievements, they're all finite. We will not be happy till we find infinite happiness. Infinite happiness cannot be a product of effort, cannot be procured. It has to be there everywhere at all times. And if it is there everywhere and at all times, it should be also you. It cannot be different from you. So that which is not different from you has to be only known. This happiness is known to us every day. When we go to sleep, we enjoy this happiness. What is the difference between sleep and waking state? The presence of the mind. What is this mind that thinks of differences, opposites, sukha, dukkha, gain and loss, victory and defeat, etc. This mind also is ego, means identifying with the body, mind, intellect. I am healthy, I am not healthy, I am angry, I am not angry, I am bright, I am not bright. These things are all the mischief of the mind, having thought it is the body. When you think you are the body, you cannot escape these opposites. Where the opposites is there you cannot find a permanent solution. The opposites are all springing from your own self, like in dream. When the mind becomes quiet, when you sleep, mind is quiet. In a quiet mind, subconscious mind comes out. This subconscious mind is called vasanas. They are called vasanas because when you eat food, food is not there, but the smell in the hand is still there. That is the result of an action left over. The results of eating is left in your hand as vasana. The footprints. These footprints make you like some, dislike some. This forms the mind and covers the sleep state in you, the state of bliss, the state of happiness, the state of pure consciousness. So if we can bring that state of sleep into waking, we will enjoy like what we enjoy in sleep. How do you do that? First, you have to thin out these inclinations or vasanas. Having thinned out, detach from the mind. How do you detach from the mind? By turning the mind's attention from the external world to its own source, the consciousness. The mind now is turned to the external world, which is duality, plurality, therefore insecurity, therefore agitations. turn the attention of the mind to its source, the consciousness, objects drop. When objects drop, mind discovers itself to be the consciousness. Consciousness plus object is the mind. When the objects drop, the mind discovers itself to be the consciousness, which is eternal, blissful existence. This process of decreasing the subconscious mind or vasanas or inclinations, so that the mind can comfortably see itself to be the consciousness and experience the joy, is done through action, but actions that help you to decrease these vasanas. When you work for the ego, that is for the body, mind, intellect, you depend on the results. When you depend on the results, the thoughts increase, agitations increase, they envelop the consciousness. When you work for a cause, for you working for the cause is important. Results you personally don't depend, and therefore they don't cause you bondage with results, agitations, whether I will succeed or not, what will happen. You won't have agitations. Therefore, in working, already the vasanas that you have come out. Since you are not interested in the results, no new vasanas are picked up. In course of time, your mind becomes pure and clean, and you experience the consciousness as yourself. This is the scheme of spiritual living. Spiritual living is to know that you are the self, you are the consciousness. You have a body, you have a mind, you have an intellect. You are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect. All problems belong to the body, the mind, the intellect. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, hence I have no problems. This knowledge is called spiritual knowledge. All that makes this possible is called a yoga. There are different and many yogas. In Gita, 18 types of trying to discover your identity are given. They are called 18 yogas. In between them itself, Vyasa gives like Samatvam Yoga Uchyate, equanimity is yoga. That's not in the 18, but given in Gita. Yoga karmasu kaushalam, dexterity in action is yoga. Like that, anything that leads you to discover this consciousness is called a yoga. If through action you discover this, it's called karma yoga. Action is karma. Karma normally makes you dependent on the results. This is called bondage, because it is done for ego, gaining something. When this karma is done for purifying yourself to gaining God or for service of others, it becomes karma yoga. So after giving the entire scheme and syllabus of spiritual living in second chapter, he takes the particular topic of purifying yourself, so that this spiritual experience talked in second chapter becomes a reality. This is karma yoga. So not knowing this, understanding, Arjuna says, you are glorifying a state which is free from all actions, which is a beautiful, peaceful state attained through knowledge and meditation. And that is what I wanted, so I wanted to leave the battle. You didn't allow me to leave the battle, and glorifying that state, what I wanted to get in. I am not able to understand you. Your words are perplexing. So therefore, Krishna starts answering, that is because of the confusion. You have not known that both action and knowledge are two limbs of the same path. Through action, you purify. Through knowledge, you own it. Through action, you purify. Through knowledge, you own it. They are not two distinctly different, unconnected paths. They are two segments of the same path. Therefore, Arjuna, you to be fit for the second segment, knowledge, meditation, you have to go through action, purify yourself. Not knowing this, you are in a hurry to go to the other thing. You cannot do that. So having said, now he tries to emphasize that point in the fourth one. Na karmana anarambha naishkarmyam purushotnuti na cha sanyadarsanadeva siddhim samadhigacchati. See, two terms are used. Naishkarmya means state of actionlessness. State of actionlessness is not abstaining from action. You do action, why? To get a result. Why? You are incomplete. Why? You have desires. Why desires? Because you think you are the body, mind, intellect, you are incomplete. So ignorance that you are the self, you are the consciousness, makes you desire. And for that desire, you act. So the cause of action is ignorance. The cause of action is ignorance. Hence, when here he says state of actionlessness, he means the cause ignorance is not there. When he talks of effect is not there, it is understood the cause ignorance is not there. So that is the state of actionlessness, or not abstaining from actions. As said earlier, it is not freedom from action, it is freedom in action. There are a lot of children here in this class. If I am little difficult to understand, please tell me. Don't hesitate. Because I want all of you to understand, but this is a difficult topic, but a very helpful topic. So if you children find it difficult, tell me, here I am not able to understand. I will try to explain it. Okay. God bless you all. Right. So, state of actionlessness, when it talks, it says you have no more ignorance. Similarly, renunciation is not leaving home and running away because you get free food, everything free, no laws, no in-laws, no courts. So you go to Rishikesh or Himalayas and live a carefree life. That is not sannyasa, that is escapism. Sannyasa is to renounce your identification with the body, with the mind, with the intellect, to renounce the feeling, the individual, I am this, therefore I am the doer. If you are the doer, you are the enjoyer. When you are the enjoyer, you cannot escape sometimes happiness, sometimes sorrow. If you want to escape sometimes happiness, sometimes sorrow, and be all the time in happiness, you cannot be enjoying experiences. If you cannot enjoy experiences, should not enjoy experiences, you should not feel you are the body, mind, intellect. You should have the knowledge, I am the self. That renunciation of your feeling, I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect, is called sannyasa. Sannyasa is not leaving things and going. Sannyasa is leaving all your misunderstandings, all your confusions, all your sorrows. That is called sannyasa. So Krishna is clarifying because Arjuna is confused. And now Krishna says, why you cannot get freedom from action, he is explaining. Nahika stikshanamapi jato tistatya karma krut karyate hyavasah karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. Not even a split second, anybody can remain without action. Even in sleep, you are breathing. All your systems are functioning. In your sleep, there is no activity in you. As Gurudev says, others around you will become active. You are dead. If you are dead, others have to dispose of your body. So there is no time. Anybody can be free from actions. He can be free in action. While acting, he need not depend on results. So that is called freedom in action. You can't have freedom from action. Even a Jnani, even Bhagavan, when he becomes Ishvara, God, manifest God like Krishna and Rama, they cannot be free from action. Even God, when he takes a body, he cannot be free from action. So Krishna says, it is not possible for anybody to be free from action because you have these vasanas in you. You have these inclinations in you. You have this subconscious mind in you. They will wake you up. You go to bed. You sleep 7 hours. Then what makes you wake up? Your vasanas inside you. Your inclinations inside you. Come on, get up. You have to get up and do your duties now. It's time now. You have to go to office. So get up. Your vasanas wake you up. So as long as these vasanas are there, these inclinations are there, these likes and dislikes are there, you will be in the body, you will be acting all the time. So what is the right way and what is the wrong way of acting? Bhagavan is telling in the next 2 verses. First, he is telling the right action. Yastvindriyani manasa niyamya rabhate arjuna karmendriyai karma yogam asakta savisishyate. When you are moving in the world, you are going in the bazaar. Eyes are seeing, ears are hearing, nose is smelling because hotel is there. Eyes are seeing because shops are there. You are hearing because the music shops are there. Several things are there. So your senses are seeing. So when they are seeing, your mind does not go through the senses. They will not have an influence on you. You are seeing something there. If the mind doesn't go through the eyes, it's as good as not seeing. If what you see should have an effect on you, the mind should go through the eyes. So if you withdraw the mind from the eyes, if you withdraw the mind from the ears, and you focus this mind to the self as God, do what you have to do at that time. This is my duty. I have to do now. Unnecessarily, let me not think of other things. Let me not see things that I'm not interested now. Let me not hear things that I'm not interested now. I have to study. My duty now is to study. I will do that. Why should I unnecessarily worry about things that do not concern me? We lost the cricket match, Bas. Why should I think about it when I'm studying? Mind should not go to the experiences of the senses. Then what happens? You are focusing on the present work. Then what happens? Distractions of the mind are not there. Then what happens? You are peaceful. So when you focus on the work on hand, do not unnecessarily allow the mind to wander with the sense experiences. What happened in the past and future, that mind is focusing, because in the present, when you are focusing to the work, you are very clear and conscious of the work. That means you are close to that consciousness, which is yourself. You are close to that consciousness, which is yourself. That's why when you see cricket, you are happy, because your whole mind is on that. When you read, you are not happy because your mind goes everywhere. When you see a movie, you are happy because the whole mind is there. Because the mind is with consciousness. Consciousness gives you happiness. So what is the simple formula here? Because you are all children, you should not be bombarded with big statements. What is that you have to learn? While you are doing something, completely focus on that. You are reading, focus on that. Don't think what happened in the morning, what happened in the evening, what will happen tomorrow. That you don't worry. Now I have to read, I will read. Then what will happen? You are peaceful. Then what will happen? Your efficiency increases. You will get always 99% because you are focused. When you allow the mind to wander, your efficiency, your performance becomes weak. So therefore he says, Yahatu Indriyani Manasa, through the mind control. Because senses controlling means what? Eyes don't run away, ears don't run away. So controlling the eyes and ears means withdrawing the mind from them. Or mind telling the eyes, see this, don't see this. Hear this, don't hear this. You understand? So that way, controlling. Controlling means not keeping quiet. I have a perfect control over my driving. That doesn't mean you don't drive. You decide where the car should go. If the car decides where you should go, you have no control. I have control over my servants. Means what? Servants will do what you want to do. Similarly, you have control over your senses. Let your senses do what you want to do and not you do what the senses want to do. That is called karmendriyahi, through the organs of action. Control the organs of perception. We have 5 organs through which we get experiences. Eyes see, ears hear, nose smell, tongue taste, skin tongue tastes and tongue speaks, right? Skin feels touch. So 5 senses of perception. Through the eyes I see, ears I hear, nose I smell, tongue I taste, skin I touch. Organs of action. Organs of action. Hands, legs, speech, tongue. Hands, legs, tongue. The organs through which you pass your urine, through the organs through which you pass your bowels. All these things are called organs of action. Control the mind and control the organs of action, and the action that should be done by the hands, the legs, the speaking, etc., that do it with a controlled mind. Then you will have peace, you will have success in action. That is the right way to act. Otherwise, it is not control means stupid control. It's intelligent control. That's what it says in the next sloka. What does he say? Next sloka says, sorry, I missed one sloka. This is the sloka I explained. Before this, it says the wrong way of doing. Karmendriyani samyamya aste manasasmaran indriyarthan vimudhatma mityacharasa uchyate. Instead of doing this way, that is control the mind, control the senses, and do the actions through the organs of action, you just merely suppress seeing, hearing, and all that, but mentally thinking what you are missing. You didn't go to cinema, but you are thinking of what all is happening there, what your friend is enjoying. And merely controlling the organs of action and not the mind, it becomes suppression. Suppression will always lead you to negative thoughts. You will become a psyche. through suppression, you will lose all your discrimination. You will become mad. So what you should do? Next verse says, Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo he karmanaha sharirayatra pachate na prasidhyeda karmanaha sharirayatra. This body, if it has to live, you have to act. You have to eat. Eating is an action. Sleep. Sleeping is an action. Walk, exercise is an action. So if you have to live, you have to act. Even to live, action is a must. Therefore, you cannot get out of action, but do the action in a particular way. You will enjoy the results. You will enjoy success. You will be happy. What is that way? Concentrate on the work on hand. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Niyatam ordained. All of us have several types of actions. Desires, action doing out of desire. And, some duties. Daily, this I have to do, that I have to do. Then on particular days, Krishna Jayanti celebrations, Vinayaka Chavithi celebrations, grandfathers, Shraddha, etc. Certain things which you should not do. Duties are called Nitya Karmas. And Shraddha, Krishna Jayanti are called Naimittika Karmas. Desire, want to eat. Kamya Karma, things should not do. Gossip, steal, injure, they are called Nishiddha Karma. In this, what you have to do is do your duty. Niyatam kuru karma. Every day, every minute, what you have to do. Right now, what am I to do? I'm supposed to study. I'll study. After 1 hour, what I'm supposed to do? I will go for a walk. After another 1 hour, what I have to do? I will have to eat. Enjoy. While eating, don't think of study. While studying, don't think of eating. When you are eating, enjoy your food. When you are eating, let all your mind be on eating. Enjoy. Nothing wrong. But while studying, don't think of eating. While eating, don't think of studies. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Karmajyayo ya karmana. Do your duties. Any day karma is superior to inaction or inertia. Therefore, all that is needed is act, but don't depend on results. Depending on results is called sangha. Sangha means attachment, binding. Mukta sangaha, free from attachment, means not worried about results. Act, I have done my action. Results will come accordingly. Why should I worry about the result? If I worry about the results, I cannot do the present actions perfectly. While you are writing the exam, if you focus on the questions and answers, you will do well. Results will come well. Otherwise, if you are, while writing the exam, you think whether I'll get 90% or not, what happens, my cousin gets this, you will not write properly. So do your duty, but focus on the work. Don't think other things. Don't depend on results. Results, God will give. Your duty is to work. God will give you the results. He knows what you need, not what you want. What you want is not good for you. What you need is good for you. That God will decide and give you. So you do your work. Do not worry about the results. Okay. So he said that. And now he says how the entire creation is sustained, is possible through actions, and actions done in a particular way. He says, Sahayagna praja sruštva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadhvam yeshavo svishta kamadhuk prajapatihi, the creator. Saha yajnaha praja sruštva. He created people. These people whom he created should live happily, should multiply things, prosperity. He said, you can multiply, you can prosper, you can be happy if you do this work in a spirit of sacrifice. What is yajna? Living for the sake of others. When you live for the sake of others, your needs are taken care. If you are working for 1,000 people for their welfare, those 1,000 people will leave you. All of them will take care of you. If you are working for the house, they will not, when you are sick or something like that, they will not leave you. So live for others. You know, Tulsidas used to give a beautiful example. Supposing your friend has a problem, you also have a problem. You treat your friend's problem as a mountain, your problem as a small anthill. You try to attack your friend's problem as you would attack a mountain. In that vibration, your anthill will break down. You won't have problems. You treat your problem as a mountain, you can never, never, never break it. So live for others, serve others. That you will be happy. You are not dependent on action. You are not dependent on results. You enjoy the action. You get the best of results. So therefore, Brahmaji, when he created us, he said this principle of sacrificing, living for others is called yajna. So he put that principle in creation and said, invoke this principle. Start living by this principle. Anena prasavishwadham. By this you shall multiply what all you need. Yahatu ista kamaduk. This principle of sacrifice will give you whatever you want. Whatever work you want to do, there are several people sacrificing. Now you are listening to this talk. At home, somebody is shouting. Or somebody says, what Gita you need at this age? So many people are saying several things you can't do. Unless others cooperate, you can't also work. So when we are living, there are several people cooperating for our living. Otherwise, we can't live. So our very living is out of cooperation of several factors. Sun God, because of sun, life is their energy. Without sun, you won't have energy or life. What does sun get from you? He doesn't get anything. Doing something for others, not expecting results, is called yajna. Because sun God gives life to all, energy to all, and he doesn't want anything from you, he is called God. Wind. If 1 minute wind doesn't go into our nose, we'll all die. What does wind get from you? Stink. Wind gets stink from you. Wind gives you life. Right? Sun, what does he get from you? Fire up on the sun. Oh, this horrible sun. All of them get labels from you, but they give you life. Therefore, they become gods. Water. If there is no rain for 10 years, you won't live. You cannot say, I get water from ground. Where does groundwater come from? From the rains only. So, no, I will put desalination plants. Suppose in 100 years it doesn't rain. Ocean also will dry up. Desalination plant. Not possible. So everything in nature, 98.4% heat in you. Who put it? Your grandfather, your father. If it goes to 99, fever. If it goes to 97, you are gone. Who put that 98.4 in you? It is God. All of them. Sun, air, heat, fire, water, earth allows you to stand. All of them serve you in the spirit of love and sacrifice, not depending on you. Therefore, we call all these 5 gods, Mother Earth, Surya Bhagavan, Vayu Bhagavan, Agni Bhagavan, because they are blessing you. So you want to be God, what you have to do? Simple, live for others, you are God. You are God. Live for others, you are God. Very simple. What happens if you are God? You have no death. You have no sorrow. You are the ruler. Okay. And therefore, now he says the glory of this sacrifice of Yajna, Istan Bhogan Hivo Deva Dasyam Te Yajna Bhavitaha Tair Dattan Apradayebhyaha Yo Bhunte Stena Yevasaha. Sun God give you life, rain God give you water, wind God give you air, fire God gives you heat, earth allows you stay, and because sun God gives you energy, moon God gives you nourishment, your crops come up, you will eat and live. So everything you get from all these forces created by God, God only expressing like that in many ways. You say, now we don't need God. We know even we can create life through test tube babies. We can do several things, create. Somebody told this to God. God said, okay, good. But don't use anything that I created. Without using things I created, you create something. You cannot create anything without using what God has created. God only created things and they put potentiality in that. They are called devas. So, Istan, Bhogan, Hivo Deva. These gods, these various potentialities to bless you, they give you several things. Taihi, Dattan, given by them, these blessings, you don't share it with others. Yo Bhukte, he who enjoys only for himself, he is a thief. Who is a thief? Takes some other person's property and doesn't return. We are thieves because we take things from God and doesn't distribute it to God in many other human forms. So we are called thieves here. Yagnashishta Shinasantaha Muchyante Sarvakil Vishai. People who do all their work for sake of others, whatever vasanas are there inside, they come out. The vasanas only give you sorrow, therefore they are called papa. When you work for others, the vasanas come out of you, you are a happy man, therefore papas have ended. And now he is going to explain how the entire living, starting from food depends on rain, and rain depends upon action, and actions depend upon knowledge, Vedas. And this knowledge, Vedas, creative power, Brahma, all come from the one God. So all your action, living is connected to that God. If you do it in the spirit of sacrifice, you can know that God. This theme we will take up next class. This theme we'll take up next class. Today we stop here. My children, I know the topic is tough, but will be useful. Even if you don't understand completely now, as you grow, these thoughts will come into you. They will bless you. You will be different because of these. And if you have somewhere difficulty in understanding, you please ask Harsha auntie. She knows things more than me. She will explain to you, right? But she cannot confuse you. So when she has difficulty, she will ask me. I will try to confuse you. Hari Om.
Thank you, uncle. हरि ओम।
हरि ओम।
हरि ओम।